Welcome to the Family Photographer Marketing Podcast. This episode is going to be 2 more marketing reviews, and you just might hear some rustling of papers as I look through this, and so I apologize, but that's just how it is because I'm literally in my closet sitting on a pillow. Okay, so this one was Bloom Light Photography out of Toronto, and her 2 ideal sessions were Golden Hour and Intimate Motherhood. Okay, so first we looked at the website, had really good images, and it separates out the sessions by session type, which again, if you listen to this, you know that I love that. The only thing I would do is move that higher up on the homepage just because you want people to get to where they want to go as quickly as possible. And then at the end, there's nowhere to go at the end of the homepage, which is a huge homepage problem that I see. So like if you're asking people to scroll with their little finger, they need to easily be able to go somewhere after that action instead of scroll all the way back up. So everyone listening, just please put something at the bottom that sends them somewhere else that's not to scroll all the way back up. Okay, and then I went to the About Me page, which is going to be one of the most visited pages on your website. And just like many of these that I see, it's very beautiful, but there needs to be more about her artistic process and more images, because this is such a sales page, because we're learning about you as the creative. So you're saying, here's how I can help you. Here's what I love. Here's my process. Here's how you can plug into that process. Here's some more of the beautiful art that I created. Too many of our About Me pages are still just solely about our own history as human beings or things we like. This is your art, like lean into who you are as an artist and help people see how they can plug into that. Okay, so this person also has info pages, which I love. So I talked about that before. They're linked on the homepage, and in them there's a good use of there's Q&A. So right on the homepage, right in the info page, it's commonly asked questions about each session types, and she answers those. Those are so great because we don't want someone to stop looking into us because they have a question. And the most ideal thing would be that they reach out and email us. But the worst case scenario and the most common case scenario is when they're like, I don't understand this and there's not enough information here, and they click out, right? So that is excellent. Having a drop down of a Q&A on your info page is great. So again, every bit of this page is so helpful, and I can, if I put all myself in the shoes of the potential client, I feel myself getting drawn in, wanting to learn more, and then I go to a contact me form. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I just want you all to at least test, just try online booking. Even if it's an online booking if you're the type of person that wants to get on a call with someone, make it online booking for that, because you're just limiting the momentum of this person. Even if you just have your availability, but they can't book it, even if they can just see your availability, that leads to them having more excitement. It's just this sort of how can we keep the momentum going? And so often I just feel like the contact me forms really brings it down a notch. So if you've never tried it, try it. Just do a test, see how it feels. So many times, especially last year with the small group marketing mentoring, so many people who tried that, who were like, this is not going to work, literally within 2 weeks got a booking. And they were like, that was the most magical thing that has ever happened, because it is, because you're just sitting there and all of a sudden you get an email and it's like, Sarah Jones booked a newborn session. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't have to email her 60, 100,000 million times about every detail. She just learned what she needed to know, and now she's on the calendar. It's such a good feeling. Just chase it. See if you like it. Okay, Instagram. I definitely recommend everyone utilize pin posts. This particular account doesn't have any, but I really think they're so helpful because they're stuck at the top. You can do so many things with them, and I just feel like, why not? They're there. The ones I like to have are about the artist sessions I offer, and then an educational or inspirational post. If you're going to do 3, those are the 3 that I recommend. So this photographer is doing a really good job of making reels. Overall, she has great marketing. I just feel like we need to overutilize what she's creating a little bit. There's no reason that one of those beautiful reels she makes couldn't be on her homepage. as an embedded YouTube video that just plays automatically when people scroll through, like that type of thing. Like and this is for me too. Like I underutilize the content I make, but I try to, everything I make on Instagram, it goes on Pinterest and in a blog post. That's way more than most people are doing, but we could all still do more because we make this beautiful content and it becomes a reel, and within 3 weeks it's down the feed and not really seen anymore, where it definitely could be more in more places of prominence, especially because this particular creator is really good at making them. So let's lean into that skill. I would say that there could be a stronger copy on the bio, a little bit more information about golden hour or intimate motherhood. Like I'd love to see that she does a good job of like, you go to the specific info page, but I feel like the pin post could really help separate that out. So it could even be, her pin post could be about Bloomlight Photography, golden hour session information, intimate mother session information. And then within that carousel, you could jam pack it full of so many beautiful images and good information. So I would definitely do that. So this person has a huge leg up because they're great at marketing, but it just needs to be overutilized. That marketing needs to be overutilized. She has really good instincts. Her instinct is, info pages, Q&A, how can I help you? And so we just need more visibility. So that would be the challenge. So when you have golden hour, like we focus on that, overly focus on that. Intimate motherhood, you can think about all the issues that someone could have with an intimate mother session, from styling to body image to how old should my kids be, should locations. I mean, there's so many different ways that we can step into the shoes of being the expert of these two things. And she's already knows how to market. It's just, how does she put herself out there even more? And I feel like in terms of SEO, turning some of these reels into embedded YouTube videos that are in blog posts could be very, very helpful. Sorry, you're going to hear the crinkle. Crinkle, crinkle. Okay, next one is Claire Mayo Photography. She is in Iowa, and her ideal sessions are in home. So the top one she wants to do is bedtime sessions, and the second one would be like outdoor but at home, if that makes sense. Okay, so the website, the homepage is great, but we need more images. Like we want to be having lots of images there. Text, yes, but like people are looking, when a potential client's eyes are laser focused on images when they do the once over of your homepage. So just make sure that you have lots of images there. You don't want to have like 100, but you want to have it so that every flick of their eye, they're seeing your beautiful work. Okay, let me see what I said. Oh yeah, on mobile, for some reason, some of the text and headers were overlapping. So just make sure, and this is for everybody, including me, especially because I build my own sites, just make sure that you don't have overlapping text on mobile. A lot of people will build for desktop and then they have it clicked for mobile, but there's not a lot of us photographers who spend time on mobile going through our own site. So that's just important because it's not a huge deal, but like I couldn't quite read some of the text because it was overlapping with other text. So like, why not fix it? That's how I think about it. So if we're talking about the bedtime session, which I've heard this about 3 or 4 times in 2024 that clients want to do bedtime sessions. So we need an expert here. We need somebody who knows everything there is to know about bedtime sessions. You know what I mean? Like, and if that's not you, you just fake it till you make it. But like, that's how I want to feel on the site. Like first of all, majority of clients are not going to know what that is, because I always think like, what's the standard? The standard is fall in your little brown sweater under a tree and there's fall leaves. That's like the average American. If you're like, what's family photography? That's what they see. Bedtime sessions is just about as far away from that as possible, which is totally fine. It just means that there's a huge swath of education that needs, and you need to be like, do you want this? Yes, you do, because this is what it is, and this is how I help you, and this is how beautiful it is, and we need like behind the scenes video, and like we need these types of newer types of sessions that aren't known to the basic public. It's a huge hole of what it is, how it works, why would I do it, that type of thing. So we can lean into that. Like I don't need to educate someone on what a fall outdoor session is. I still can, and everyone still should, but there's definitely room for that here. Also, just as a random side note, sometimes menus can get confusing, but on mobile, on the top menu, there's no About Me on the drop down. And because that's such a visited page, I would just make sure that that's there. Okay, going to the Instagram. So I don't know what this is. If it's just certain types of link in bios, but like hers, when I go to her link in bio, one of the things I can do is see a bedtime session gallery. It says bedtime session gallery. When I click on that, it goes to a pick time gallery. I think it's a pick time, either pick time or Pixie set. I can't remember which one. I cannot get back out of that. So when I click X, I go back to the Instagram, and then when I click the link in bio again, it opens up the Pixie set thing, and there's no back button, and I can't get out of it. So that's just something, it's not a huge deal, but again, somebody who's trying to look through your offerings, that was me in this example, I got totally stuck on that gallery and I could not get out. So I don't know if there's a way to fix that or just switch it up slightly. Instead of going to a pick time gallery, go to a blog post that has all those images, which I would almost prefer, because then you can have them they'll be on your site. It would be a blog post with all those images. And at the bottom, if you had a behind the scenes, or you had a Q&A, or you had something at the bottom that's even more informational, that would be even more helpful. So that would be my suggestion. I always just point out those little things because they do make a difference. If someone's searching around and attempting to build trust, we want to make sure that some small technical reason isn't why they're unable to do that. Okay, so I love the playful imagery on this Instagram page. Some of the text overlay is a little bit hard to read. It's a little bit small. I would also try to make it a little more uniform. Like when she's doing informational reels or like get to know me reels or whatever, I would just make it a little more uniform. Just as I'm searching through, it might be easier for my brain. Once you have, if every caption's sort of centered in the same text, the brain is able to read it easier and more quickly and process it faster. It's not necessarily about how it looks, even though it does end up looking more like clean, but it's just also easier to process. So my thing is like the Instagram feels a lot more playful and open and geared towards bedtime sessions than the website does. So we can take some of that playful energy and put it on the website. Sometimes I feel like Instagram, we let ourselves be free, and then we feel like our websites have to be very stuffy and professional, where I really love to see playful information, fun graphics. If that's who you are, like that is amazing. I would love to see more of that energy come over onto the website. So, she has some information on there, like one of her pinned posts is like about how she preps for a session. And I see this a lot, like in your heart though, that's geared towards other photographers. Like clients don't really care what you're doing to prepare for a session, but she could switch it to be like how I help you achieve this for a bedtime session or an outdoor session or whatever. So I make sure that I bring my playful energy. These are the props that I bring. I make sure I bring a blanket. Like that type of thing is more helpful. I check in with you 2 or 3 days before to make sure that all of your styling is dialed in, and that if you have any other questions, you can reach out to me. Like that type of thing is switching the mindset over to the client is going to be a lot more helpful. The trick is, I see this all the time where photographers create reels that appeal to other photographers, and those are the things that gain traction, but they don't actually result in more bookings because you're talking to other photographers instead of clients. So in 2025, switch that mindset when you're creating content. And this is like for the vast majority of photographers. Unless you are educating to other photographers, I don't think that it's worth it to make content for other photographers. Just because if you're going to put time and energy into marketing, put it into like, how can you help the client? That type of thing. Okay, so the other thing I noticed, this was just an idea. So one of her reels was like her favorite books, which is like great. Like I think that can be an excellent, we talked about in a couple episodes or whatever, if you're trying to add in more about yourself, you could even have a virtual book club that your freaking website, that your Family Photography business hosts. So every month you read a new book, you go on a reel, you chat about it. It's part of your content. People kind of look forward to it. That could be cool. Another thing that could be cool with her niche of bedtime sessions is she could read bedtime sessions as a voiceover in Reels, where you have the kiddos, like this session, the bedtime session images playing in the background, and she's reading a favorite bedtime book in the background. Like that could be something that could be really, really unique, really cool marketing, really dialed into exactly what she's doing. So the major issues that clients are going to have with these type of sessions is what I said before. There's major education and buy-in needed. Not everyone knows what it is. They're not necessarily searching for it. So your visibility needs to be larger because people aren't going to be Googling bedtime sessions. So you need to step into, anyone who's doing a session that's a little bit outside the norm, step into the role of expert and market from that position, knowing that you need to cast a wider net of visibility and then build trust with those people as they come in. So you could even do, copy that's like, if you've done X, Y, and Z in the past, your husband standing in his little brown sweater under the tree, what about this instead? Now he's snuggling the kiddos and you guys are reading a book. Like that type of copy is what's going to convert people from thinking they need one thing to thinking they need another. Another great way to introduce sessions like this, and I think we talked about this in the past marketing review a couple of weeks ago, is going to past clients and saying, hey, this is what I'm moving toward. I would love to give you a discount or an album or whatever, if you'd be willing to try this out. And you could convert and create a referral source by converting past clients to new session types. Okay. Hope that was helpful. Again, ways to work with me. The best way is one-on-one mentoring. If you're local, I'm doing 3 classes: Pinterest, websites, and seasonal marketing strategy in my studio. So I will link those below as well. And, I'm really excited to help as many of you as I can reach your income potential for these businesses, and also just lower your resentment level so you actually enjoy doing this work and you're working with clients who really value you as the amazing artist that you are. Okay, have a good day.